Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sports Scene.
Oh, it's unbelievable! Unbelievable! It's a spectacular opening goal in the derby. And the shot is an absolute beauty! Chance, and he's back! Is this a bit of history? It is! And it's done! This is history! Highland history!
Coming to you live from the nation's capital, it's Saturday Night Live! Starring two of the Cup's most successful teams.
It is 5-star Hearts! That will win the Cup. Willie Miller, this is the fourth time he's held that Cup aloft.
Featuring some of the country's brightest talents.
It's Rooney! That is brilliant from Hayes! What a goal from Niall McGinn! It's a glory goal from Osman Sow! And Tynecastle is rocking now.
With two of the touchline's top performers. Anything could happen. It's the Scottish Cup fourth round. It's Saturday Night Live with your host, Rob McLean.
Oh, I do like an understated introduction. Taking centre stage in the Scottish capital. Two teams who've won the Scottish Cup 15 times between them. It's Hearts against Aberdeen in this season's fourth round, and it's live here on the BBC. Our Saturday Night Live star guests are Michael Stewart and Willie Miller. The big Scottish Cup story so far today centres on League Two Annan Athletic. They only joined the senior football setup in 2008. Today, they've beaten Premiership Hamilton in the Scottish Cup by 4-1. Plaudits as well for League Two Stirling Albion, who held the holders, Inverness County Thistle to a goalless draw, and to League One leaders Dunfermline as well. 2-2 it was at East End Park against Ross County. All the highlights, of course, later on tonight, BBC One Scotland. Another Scottish Cup story, though, is about to unfold at Tynecastle. Our man pitchside, Chris McLaughlin.
Yes, the atmosphere is building up nicely behind me. I know you like a statistic, Rob. How about this one? Hearts have not scored in this competition since they famously beat Hibs 5-1 in the final back in 2012. So let's take a look at the men that Robbie Nielsen turns to this evening. Pretty interesting. No Juanma, no Oceaniwa. They drop to the bench. Captain Alim Ozturk comes into the centre of defence, meaning Rossi moves to left back. The Spaniard Payardo comes into the midfield alongside Prince Boabin. Up front, it's Osman Sow through the middle with Gavin Riley on the right. As for the Dons, well, they have a 100% record against Hearts in the league this season, but they've never beaten the Jambos in the Cup here at Tynecastle. It's a pretty recognisable starting 11. Andrew Considine comes in at left back, meaning Graham Shinney takes his place beside Willow Flood in midfield. The wide men of Hayes and McGinn are always dangerous, as is a man very much in form, striker Adam Rooney. That's the teams. Let's hear from the managers. Robbie, an intriguing starting 11. No Juanma, no Oceaniwa, no King. What's your thinking this evening?
Yeah, just I brought Osman back in. He's been the main striker this year. Didn't play him last week on the Astro, and he's ready to come back in today. So we've made a couple of changes, but I think it's made us stronger.
Tynecastle under the lights, Saturday night. This could be a cracker, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll be a great game. Two teams that are desperate to win, desperate to get through to the next round, and a big crowd under the floodlights, so it should be an entertaining game.
Safe to say, though, this is not a tie you wanted right now?
No, I'd love it. It's great. You know, you want to beat good teams. If you want to win the Cup, you have to beat the best teams, and Aberdeen are certainly one of the better teams in Scotland.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
Derek, a familiar starting 11, is it always good as a manager to be able to go with the tried and tested?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we've got one injury in Ryan Jack to the full squad, but the team's very similar to the team that won against Hearts a few weeks back at Pittodrie. I think it's just Niall McGinn's in for Peter Pollitt from that team. So, you know, we trust the players, and hopefully we get that level of performance we're used to getting. And I think it will take a good performance from us today. You know, it normally does to win any game, but certainly when you come up against a competitive team and a good team as Hearts.
Just briefly, safe to say you would rather have done without Hearts at this stage of the competition?
I think when the draw was made, you see some of the ties. You know, there was so many more easier ties that you could look at. You know, that goes without saying. But I think that the best way to look at it for us certainly you know, it's what a brilliant game to be involved in as well, and a brilliant game to win. And ultimately, it's about getting ourselves into the next round. You're either in the cup or out it, and we want to make sure we bring a performance to stay in it.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, Chris. Cheers.
It's a 5:30 kick-off, Hearts against Aberdeen at Tynecastle live on the BBC, so less than 10 minutes away. Let's pick out a couple of key players. Interesting to look at that Hearts team selection, 3 changes, no Juanma. But the player that's grabbed you, who's very much playing, is Arnaud Djoum, the Belgian midfielder, who made a pretty quick impact, Michael, the minute he checked in.
Yeah, you know, he's been an impressive figure since he got into the team, and as you said, he's settled in very quickly. We've highlighted him in quite a few clips here where you see once he's made the pass, he doesn't stand and admire it. He wants to get forward and into dangerous areas, and this was a fantastic ball across the goal as well that Craig Gordon did really well to save. But again, you know, as the ball comes into him, he's in the half turn, driving it at the box. Very similar ball across again as to the Celtic game. This one, from a wee bit deeper, he drives into the box and gets on the end of a cross and finishes it really well. So he knows where the back of the net is as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Hearts set up in the midfield, because we had it in the graphic there. He would be sitting, I don't think there's any chance of that, but he could play out wide, he could play in behind a striker. There's a number of ways that they could set up, so it'll be interesting to see how they finally settle in the formation.
Now, Johnny Hayes and Niall McGinn are both favourites of yours, Willie. We hear you talking about them regularly on BBC Radio Scotland. How could you possibly pick one?
Well, it was really difficult, actually, but I think Niall McGinn just has the edge on both of them. Both fantastic players. But McGinn, the great creator, his delivery into the box from that free kick, superb. His movement is wonderful. He gets a head up as well. He's a type of player that plays with a head up. He goes by defenders quite easily as well. Sets up good Willie on this occasion. And this is just superb, isn't it? You know, from a deep area, running into space, prepared to take that chance. Gets the ball over the top, goes into an area where he really shouldn't get out of.
Yeah, this goal's got a health warning for all Hearts fans.
It's incredible defensively, Augustine and then Patterson, but you've got to hand it to Niall McGinn. You know, I mean, he keeps his head, he beats one defender, he then sizes up the situation when he sees Patterson isn't coming back to block him, sees the opportunity, picks his spot and puts it exactly where he wants to put it, into the back of the net.
But you're right, Michael. I mean, there are two sides to that story, aren't there? I mean, that's a great Aberdeen goal, a great Niall McGinn goal, but it's a shocker for Hearts, and presumably they'll have been watching that back a few times and trying to ensure that it doesn't happen tonight. Yeah,
of course, but you know, the interesting thing about the two guys that we're talking there, in Djoum and McGinn, they both run in behind. They want to go in behind defences, and you know, Willie will tell you as a defender, that's where you don't want guys to go, because you don't want to turn and face your own goal and have to run back. And you see that far too, you know, seldom in the modern day game, where guys are all everything to the feet. They don't want to turn and run in behind, and they cause real problems. So you're right, Hearts will have been watching that, and they'll have to try and, you know, mitigate Niall McGinn's runs in behind, because he can cause big problems.
How does that impact potentially psychologically, Willie, on what happens in this game?
I think it helps the manner that Aberdeen played in the first half last time at Tynecastle. But you know, in saying that, Derek McInnes and the players will know that it's going to be a real tough night for them. They know that it's an intimidating atmosphere. The pitch is a fabulous pitch to play in. It's under the floodlights. It should lift them. But I think as far as Aberdeen's concerned, the fact that they've beaten Hearts twice, the second game at Pittodrie, very close one, very close encounter, I think that gives them the edge. And I do feel that they've got slightly more creative players. I think Hearts are a very strong side, good defensively, but I think Aberdeen and McGinn and Hayes and McLean, and of course we haven't even spoken about the main goal scorer in Adam Rooney as well, who, you know, when he gets himself in the right position and Hayes and McGinn are on form, then Aberdeen are a potent force.
They're huge players for Aberdeen. You know, invariably when Aberdeen do well, the guys that Willie's mentioned, they're the ones that have put in a performance. So, you know, I look at the game tonight and I think to myself, very much like the Celtic game at Tynecastle a couple of weeks ago, Hearts, if they're going to get anything out of this game, they've got to get on the front foot and put Aberdeen under pressure. The games that, you know, Aberdeen and Hearts have played so far this season, Hearts have been far too passive and they've allowed Aberdeen to dominate the game. And when that happens, like the Celtic games, then the opposition end up winning it. So if Hearts are going to get anything out of this, I think they've got to get on the front foot and put the pressure onto Aberdeen, because their real strength is at the top end of the pitch.
Well, as you can see, the teams are in the tunnel at Tynecastle. It is the BBC Live match, and what a tie it promises to be. Hearts against Aberdeen for a place in the last 16 of the William Hill Scottish Cup. Your commentary team, Craig Patterson and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Rob. Good evening. How many times do we hear the phrase "under the lights" mentioned in the last 10-15 minutes? There is something special about Tynecastle, though, when that is the case, and indeed this evening kick-off on a Saturday is poised, and it certainly got the chance of being up there with a true Scottish Cup classic. We'll see, it's certainly two sides who are by and large in good form, but it's hardly the tie either of them dreamt of when the draw was made for this year's fourth round. And as they say, and as we heard from Robbie Nielsen there, you have to beat the good teams if you're going to lift the silverware. And for Hearts and for Aberdeen, it begins a little earlier than they would have ideally wanted. The second and third top teams in Scotland right now, one is going to fall at the first hurdle. First hurdle is a hurdle they both fell at last season, and to decamp from the Scottish Cup at this stage again for either of these two would be a savage blow to their respective campaigns. Huge travelling support down from the northeast today. The Hearts fans will come out in numbers as well. Aberdeen have sold out their entire allocation, just over 3,500. Made the trip south, and the conditions haven't been great up in the northeast these last couple of days. Robbie Nielsen has elected to drop Oshaniwa, King and Wanma to the bench, so Igor Rossi moves to left back. That accommodates the returning captain Ali Mozturk. Miguel Pallardo also returns to the fold for the first time since the game at Pittodrie a month back. That was his last start. While Osman Sow replaces the aforementioned Juanma Magaro Gomez, suspended. Captain Ryan Jack is expected to be out until the end of February. But Derek McInnes has not struggled to shuffle his pack when it's been necessary to do so. Graham Shinnie goes into midfield beside Willow Flood, and Andrew Considine is deployed at left back. Adam Rooney is chasing his 15th goal of the season as he spearheads the Dons' attack. But for Jack, the Dons at full strength. There's plenty of options for both teams. I mentioned the trio of Hearts players who have gone to the Jambos bench today. Aberdeen's David Goodwillie scored twice when Aberdeen won here in September. The man in charge is 33-year-old John Beaton, who was here when Hearts went out of the League Cup at the hands of Celtic in October. Derek McInnes against Robbie Nielsen, and it's been McInnes who's come out on top in the two meetings so far. It was 3-1 here in September to Aberdeen. It was 1-0 to the Dons at Pittodrie. The 13th meeting in this competition of two of the most successful clubs in the Scottish Cup. Hearts have won it 8 times, the Dons 7, but not for a while for them. You have to go back to 1990 to find their last lifting of the Scottish Cup. And it's Aberdeen in the black and white to kick off, shooting towards the Gorgie Road end, left to right. Hearts in all maroon. The most famous tournament meeting between these two was the '86 final, which Aberdeen won 3-0 just a few weeks after damaging Hearts' Premier League title prospects in a 1-1 draw here, though it was the latter's defeat at Dundee that made the headlines on the final day of that league season. Craig Patterson with me today. It's going to be tight, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Evenly matched sides. The important thing in the two games so far this season, I think Aberdeen came out the traps better, dominated early part of the game. Hearts will not want to let that happen here tonight in front of their own fans.
Aberdeen's record here against today's opponents isn't great, just 2 wins in their last 12 visits. It was a blistering first half performance here in the autumn that set them on their way to that most recent triumph, as Sam Nicholson looks bewilderingly at John Beaton. His possession goes to the visitors. Hearts shooting towards the school end, as they like to do in the first half at home. Here's Nicholson, who's having a fine season. Straight though to Taylor. Rossi. Gets it back from Nicholson. Rossi's ball might come to show here unless Reynolds is lively. He had to be. Good start to the game by the hosts.
That's a wonderful ball in behind defenders. You know, skiddy surface. Mark Reynolds knew, facing his own goal. One option, take no chances, get the ball out of play.
He had to sprint there from left centre half to right to cover Ash Taylor. And he did so, just so's no slouch, neither is Reynolds, of course. Danny Ward between the sticks for Aberdeen, on loan from Liverpool, just organising his rear guard for this first assault. Nicholson's dinked delivery, leaded by Ozturk, and into the net it goes from Callum Patterson. It's a dream start for Hearts, and they have finally scored in the Scottish Cup for the first time since they won the final in 2012.
Well, he is an incredible goal threat. You know, he's a good defender, but on the other end, he just scores week after week. And it's a clever corner, back post, won the first header, and he's on his toes, and that's a great flick in behind Danny Ward. Quality goalkeeper. You win that first header, get it in the mixer. Callum Patterson, he was hungry, he got his head on the ball, and he has opened the scoring for Hearts.
It's a 6th goal of the season for Hearts right back, and it silences the Aberdeen supporters behind Danny Ward's goal, and it's certainly given Derry McInnes's men something to think about in these early stages. Hearts in front against Aberdeen for the first time this season. Here's Considine. Well, you mentioned the fact Callum Patterson's a goal threat, Craig. He played for a big chunk of his early Hearts career in the first team as a striker.
Yeah, you know, it's difficult up there because I genuinely think he's a wing-back. He's a wonderful athlete, but he's so good in the air. And if you get to the back post on top of shorter full-backs, you're going to help yourself to a few goals.
Aberdeen's last Scottish Cup tie was at Dens Park against Dundee, and they conceded late. They've conceded early at the start of their subsequent tie, which they've had to wait a while for. As have Hearts, of course, neither played in this competition in 2015. It's the way the calendar worked out. Hearts free kick. Well, when you settle down the night before a game, Craig, you dream of an early goal, and Robbie Nielsen will be absolutely delighted with the start his side have made. They've begun the game on the front foot, and they've been rewarded for it. Well,
it's the perfect start. You're at home, you've now got the crowd on board, you've got a goal, and that allows you to dictate. You'll see Sam Nicholson now, rather than playing up as a front three, he'll just drop off into that midfield area. And they're going to ask questions, Aberdeen, can you come and break us down? We're not going to throw men forward and allow you to hit us in the break.
It's the goal scorer with the long throw. Looking for Sow. Does enough to try and force it into the path of Riley, and Ward grabs onto it, snuffs it out.
What been made of the size of the Hearts team? People saying they're physical. I tell you, every time the ball comes into the box there, they're making a challenge. They're not allowing Aberdeen to clear the first ball and clear the box, and they're going to continue to do that. From long throws, corner kicks, they will keep getting that ball in there.
Well, Aberdeen will have to respond. It's been a shaky start by them. A couple of draws in their last 2 games. One was better than the other. They came from 2-0 down to salvage a point against Cali Thistle. A 0-0 draw at home to Partick Thistle. Just a few days later, just over the festive period, spurning not once but twice the chance to go to the top of the league. And here goes Osman Sow again. Certainly rattling Reynolds and Taylor.
Very similar to the ball that led to the corner, that led to the goal. It's just a long ball back to front turning the Aberdeen defenders, putting them on the defensive and moving Hearts 50 yards up the park.
He's the real hero around these parts, Osman. So he arrived a year past summertime. Awkward ball for Logan, that Nicholson plays it back across. Almost for Boivin. That's McGinn for Aberdeen, looking to send Rooney away.
So quality again from Hearts, and it's the same ball. Back post, win the header across the goal. And if there's a striker can make up the ground, it's a tap in. Eventually it came to Boivin. He doesn't make the best of it, but it's just been a great start. Sam Nicholson comes at the back post, great header back across, no takers there for Hearts. That's all about the ball though. You know, Sam Nicholson's on the move, Shea Logan going backwards, forward is always winning that.
The good news for Aberdeen is the fact that the goal came early. They've got practically a whole cup tie to retrieve the situation, and it's not like it's a Hearts team that is picking up clean sheet after clean sheet. They do struggle to keep the opposition out. Alim Ozturk, who's at the heart of the defence tonight, hasn't played much as Augustine shifts away from Rooney. Saying yesterday doesn't expect to be making any transfers over the next few weeks during the winter transfer window. Happy to go with the squad he has. Here's Payardo. Graham Shinnie sliding in on the challenge there. Inverness Cali Thistle's skipper as they won it last year, and here goes So again. He's won a free kick too. Aberdeen are rocking here. Reynolds can't handle So.
Yeah, I think once again it's a wonderful turn from Osman So, and he's quick over the ground. Mark Reynolds decides he's got to make a tackle outside the box, brings him down. Yellow card for Mark Reynolds, but it's another chance for Hearts.
And now he's on a Shugley peg. You would expect Mark Reynolds to have to make further challenges throughout this game. Meantime, we know what Alim Ozturk can do from outside the box and free kicks. So can too.
That's strange, that looks like three right footers over there. Free kick that would really suit a lefty.
The Aberdeen bench looking on pensively. Everyone behind the ball for the Dons here. It's going to be So. Considine half clear. This is Doom. Still it's Doom. Now did that come off an Aberdeen player? Yes it did. It's another corner.
The pressure stays on. Hearts have been really good at this, keeping getting the ball in there. Again, it's a short free kick. It's a decent strike, but right into the wall. But as I say, Hearts keep the pressure on, keep getting the ball in there, get the reward with another corner kick.
Similar free kick, that one, to the one against Celtic late on, which So popped it into the top corner. 2-2 draw here. Kenny McLean, he's given straight to Patterson. Now it's Payardo. Ward tries to get there, and he spills it, and it's wide by Augustine. Aberdeen have the jitters.
Well, they just haven't settled at all. You know, Kenny McLean smashing that across your own box is not a good idea, and then you think Danny Ward, he's now settled things down. He lets it go, and very fortunate not to be two down.
There's a Dons free kick meantime. Johnny Hayes was upended over on the far side. Hayes missed out on the 3-1 win here in September. Suspended. As far as Derek McInnes is concerned, it's about getting through these early stages because his team have been up against it. Here's McGinn, taking on Riley. McGinn's ball is poor. These sides looking to get into Monday's draw for the last 16. Plenty teams already there after today's earlier fourth-round matches, including Annan Athletic of League 2 with a 4-1 hammering of Premiership Hamilton Academical. Well, Hearts look as though they want to finish this game off in the early stages.
Well, I think they know. They've started well, they've got Aberdeen on the back foot, and while you're playing as well, you want to take advantage. They've got one goal, but that's not enough of a cushion. Another one would work an absolute treat.
Here's Payardo. Showed a little bit too much of it to Shinnie, but he emerges with it. John Beaton happy with the challenge. Here's Rossi. Has played at left back on occasion this season. Here's the man who's making the difference at the moment, Callum Patterson, with the only goal of the game. It's arrived within 4 minutes. He's only 21, seems to have been around for ages. Of he, Sam Nicholson, Jamie Walker, who is out injured just now, all breaking into the Hearts team around about the same time, out of necessity really. Here's So, a lovely play by Osman So, didn't have the final ball. Well, he looks in the mood tonight, that's for sure.
That's absolute quality. The touch, the trick, the only thing missing the final ball.
Here's Doom. It did look like a handball there, John Beaton didn't spot it. Hearts trying to make hay at Tynecastle while they can. Stewart for Nicholson. Another corner.
The quality ball from defence to attack has been terrific from Hearts. In behind Aberdeen defence, big crossfield passes, getting the wide players involved.
Well, the last time Sam Nicholson swept a corner in from this side of the stadium, Callum Patterson headed home. It was about 10 minutes ago now. Another chance for them. Hayes did well initially. Aberdeen just can't get a hold of this game at all.
Oh, now again, Johnny Hayes just can't get involved in the game because at the moment it's a rear guard action for Aberdeen.
Headed away by Taylor. And in goes Considine. Boabin loses it, Considine gets it back, and now it's with McGinn. Maroon shirts flooding back in double quick time. Here's Ash Taylor. He's got a run from Rooney. Augustine is covering. Bit of relief here for the Aberdeen defenders.
Just to be playing in the Hearts half, you know, is good for Aberdeen. Neil Alexander, very little to do so far. Let's see if Aberdeen can conjure up something from the set piece.
Logan looking for movement. Too much on it for McGinn, and it's straight back with the hosts, and it's Augustine. Looking for So. He will keep chasing. Andrew Considine, his testimonial season last year. It's a poor ball from Shinnie for McLean. Miguel Pallardo's last start for Hearts was at Pittodrie. He was taken off before he was sent off that day. Here's Considine. Shinnie. It's all a bit of a struggle right now for the Dons. Graham Shinnie. Lovely run here. We saw this plenty in last season's competition, and Aberdeen have a free kick this time. Yellow for Pallardo.
Very similar to the Mark Reynolds situation. When you're chasing back, if you bring somebody down when they're charging in on goal, the referee immediately going to go for the yellow card, sticks a leg in, down goes Shinnie, and it's a first chance for Aberdeen to cause a bit of bother.
Well, I just finished talking about this game at Pittodrie, and he was booked in that one, and Robbie Nielsen took him off because he'll keep making those challenges, really, as he did that day.
The problem is a midfield player, and Mark Reynolds as a defender, you're going to be asked to make challenges. You've got to be very careful now.
Well, this is the first legitimate chance for Aberdeen to force Neil Alexander into some kind of action. 17.5 minutes played. The Hearts leading this cup tie by 1-0. Messrs Hayes, McLean and McGinn are over it. All capable, more than capable. Right down the throat though of the veteran Alexander.
Needs to be top corner to beat the goalkeeper from there. Decent pace on the ball, but straight at Neil Alexander.
That's a foul by Rossi. What's Derek McInnes thinking just now?
Well, he's thinking he doesn't want to concede a second goal. Well, Hearts are playing well, they're pressing well. You know, the home side have started on fire, and Aberdeen have got to get through this period, get the good players on the ball.
There's Reynolds. For Logan. There haven't been too many wins recently for Hearts, but they've only lost one of their last 12. That was at Pittodrie. A high foot there by Nicholson and Shea Logan.
Yeah, Sam Nicholson pleading innocence that he never touched them, but I think he's just done for raising his foot too high.
Taylor's up and under for Rooney. Against Augustine. And draws Aberdeen's first corner of the night.
Yeah, Hearts not happy. They felt Adam Rooney came from an offside position to get involved in that move, but yet again it's a chance for Aberdeen. They've got some big players. Ash Taylor up there, Adam Rooney. They've got targets. Needs to be quality ball in though.
Nobody sets up more Aberdeen goals than Niall McGinn, and he's over this corner. Yeah, Considine fouling Augustine, his fellow number 4. We had a nightmare here, Blazai Augustine, the last time Aberdeen were in town. Scottish Cup winners around. Graham Shinnie in the Aberdeen side. Derek McInnes there won the Scottish Cup with Rangers. Robbie Nielsen won the Scottish Cup with his team in 2006. Final against Gretna. Indeed scored the second in the shootout against Gretna that day. A very nice penalty it was too. Sent Alan Main the wrong way. McInnes' triumph came in the late 90s. And Prince Boabin, of course, in the Hearts lineup, won it with Dundee United. Flood. So a former teammate of Prince Gwaban's Tannadice. United safely through earlier today. I say safely, 1-0 win at Airdrie. And Hayes was a bit short with that one. Not sure Taylor was expecting that. Lovely spin by Flood, who's been in good form recently. Here's Shinnie. McLean, back to Shinnie. Nice drop of the shoulder by Shinnie, but June is there. It's certainly got a bit scrappy just in these last few minutes. It probably suits Aberdeen just now because it takes a little bit of the wind out of Hearts' sails. Almost a quarter of the way through this William Hill Scottish Cup 4th round tie. Here's Taylor. Again, held off by Patterson. Solid from the Jambos so far. It's a huge backline they have, isn't it?
And you're looking at Callum Patterson in one-on-one with Naum again. That's a difficult job. Read where he was going to go, used his upper body strength and his pace, saw off the attack.
Has been in the senior Scotland squad, Callum Patterson. Matches against the Republic of Ireland and England a year past November. He is the only goal of this game so far. It was a 3-0 Hearts win the last time the sides met in the Scottish Cup here. Last time, all told, was in 2010. Aberdeen went through on that occasion at Pittodrie. McLean. And then again, and Shinnie with a misunderstanding.
Yeah, just lack of communication there. Somebody's got to take charge, somebody's got to take control. One good shout, and you've got a chance. A mistake like that, easy for Hearts to clear up.
Well, Hearts certainly worth their lead at the moment. Adam Rooney has not got into this game at all. And so often he relies on the service from Hayes and McGinn in the wide areas.
Well, that's the thing, when Aberdeen are on top and on the front foot, that's what you're going to get. The two wide players getting to the byline, balls into the box, and there's nobody better at finishing, but Aberdeen just can't wrestle control of the game from Hearts.
So did well. Wabin to June. He's on his bike here. He did well, Arnold June. That might be another corner. It is. It's corner number 4.
I just think you can see the confidence, you know, in the Hearts team currently. Everybody's looking to get a little bit of space and get themselves a shot on goal.
Fourth corner for Hearts. Sam Nicholson is over it again. Loads of movement in the box as it's headed past. Well, both Callum Patterson and Miguel Pallardo, who I think got his head onto that, are appealing.
Yeah, big shouts, but there's so much wrestling in there. You can see there's grabbing, there's pushing, there's shoving. The referee, very difficult to make a decision there, though.
Augustine, in fact, who got his head onto it in the end. Looking for his first goal. Still looking. And here goes Gavin Riley. Well, these long balls are causing Aberdeen all kinds of problems.
Well, it just keeps them on the back foot, keep turning. As a defender, you want the game in front of you. You don't want to be continually turning and sprinting back towards your own goalkeeper.
Shinnie for Rooney. Shows too much of it to Ozturk. Liam Ozturk is just back in the team. Played against Dundee United recently, a couple of league games ago, but that was his first outing since the League Cup victory over Kilmarnock back in the autumn. 3 months out. The man who took the armband in the summer. Flood just got that away because the trajectory of the ball had it straight going through to Arnaud Djoum. Here's Augustine. So so far this is as good a Hearts performance as there has been all season in their return to top-flight football. And Logan, but for the fact Sam Nicholson didn't know where the ball was, it could have been another Hearts goal there. Nicholson realised where the ball was. Logan certainly didn't know.
Hearts are not giving up on anything. Any ball that's bouncing around that Aberdeen box, they're chasing, they're harrying, and they're putting Aberdeen defenders under real pressure.
4 goals this season. Sam Nicholson scored one of those against Celtic in that recent 2-each draw, so with the other. Yeah, and there's another example of it there. Graham Shinnie was ransacked, and Hearts are away again. It's so to Riley. Pinched away by Logan. Riley still has it though. Here's Djoum. And again. Well, loads of options ahead of him. There's a throng of Hearts players to choose from. Goes for Riley. Here's Nicholson. Made by Taylor. Gallardo. Nicholson. Logan stands his ground. Does well. There's just no respite for Aberdeen right now. Hearts swarming all over them. Simply haven't done this in the 2 games against Aberdeen this season so far. The stakes are high though tonight. You can make up points in the league. Once you're out the cup, you're out. Here's Niall McGinn, meantime, with the visitors. Augustine does well. Good set Hearts away again here. Nicholson. Ward held on to that. Stung his fingertips though.
That's a terrific effort from Sam Nicholson. Playing left side, when he cuts in, it's onto his strong right foot, and he hits this absolutely sweet butt straight at the goalkeeper.
We've got Rossi, who scored the consolation against Aberdeen in September, and header back to Neil Alexander, who will turn 38 in March. Living the dream late in his career, Hearts fan as a boy. There's McLean, who's been on the periphery of things so far, and that might have just gone out. It has.
It's been the story for Aberdeen so far. Poor decision making, misplaced passes, and that means it's been defend. We haven't seen them as an attacking force at all so far.
It's a big difference tonight to the game earlier in the season here, Craig, and the fact that when Hearts were attacking that day, they were picked off time and time again on the counter-attack. Tonight, they've been flooding back in double quick time. As soon as they lose the ball, they go hunting for it. They weren't doing that day.
No, Hearts on the ball today have been excellent, but it's their pressing game that's been really impressive. Every time Aberdeen have the ball, there's no time to look up and pick a pass. There's a Hearts player right in his face, making it difficult.
Hard to keep that up though for 90 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're ahead, it's a lot easier. You know, if Aberdeen can get themselves a goal and lift their own team, it can change completely, but 31 minutes in, Hearts have been different class.
Partick Thistle already through, Morton through, Hibs, Dumbarton, Kilmarnock, Motherwell Dundee United, and as we mentioned earlier, and an Athletic in the bottom tier. Going through against Hamilton 4-1. Sore one for Martin Canning's men, that. Who haven't been in good form. These two generally have been. And Aberdeen desperate to find some of the form that has taken them to within at the moment just 3 points of the league leader Celtic. And that autumn slump in about October time. In fact, it was in the aftermath of their win here, and I think that Ash Taylor pass sums everything up for Aberdeen in this opening 32 minutes. Woeful.
And Ash Taylor's no options there. He's tried to play an almost impossible chip pass to Logan, who's right on the touchline. He needs players in that midfield area coming, showing for the ball, taking responsibility and digging Aberdeen back into the contest.
Osman shows had a great game so far. Won the ball back for Hearts, and he's got them inside the Aberdeen penalty area again, and it's forced. Corner kick number 5.
He is an absolute handful, Osman Sow, just now. You know, when he takes the ball, you're wary because you know he's quick and you know he's got tricks.
He'd started every league game for Hearts up to the last one at Kilmarnock. Robbie Nielsen mentioned he didn't want to play him on the artificial surface at Rugby Park. And that 2-2 draw. Here's Nicholson again then. The latest corner. It's so. Ozturk's effort blocked, and out it goes again. Aberdeen up against the ropes in the capital.
Yeah, well, Aberdeen have got a real problem in this corner to the back post. Mark Reynolds gets out muscle, the ball comes in, they do well to block it away, but Hearts know every time they put the ball in there, they've got one 6'2", 6'3" guy being marked by somebody smaller.
Miguel Pallardo, one of the shorter players in the Hearts squad. Pallardo was there, and again, Logan didn't know where the ball was, came off him last, as the pressure stays on.
Decent balls in as well, you know, don't fire it in low. If you know you've got big players who are winning headers, get in high, give them a chance to win the first header, then if the ball drops into the box, it can fall to anyone.
Loads of movement. Again they win it. Come off Kenny McLean. Has Flood prevented an 8th corner? He has, but the pressure is still on the Aberdeen defence. Ozturk. Come off Considine. It was Rossi who swung a boot at it.
Aberdeen need to make a change at corners. Mark Reynolds against Augustin, he's not won any. Augustin has won every ball that has come in there, so because that's a problem, I think you've got to switch. Maybe Ash Taylor, somebody else is going to have to deal with him because Mark Reynolds just isn't tall enough.
Well, there's a stoppage, which you can see is for Willow Flood. Well, Willow Flood does have a checkered history as far as injuries are concerned.
Another ball into the box, see Mark Reynolds underneath it. Augustin wins a header. Every time you do that, there's a real chance you're going to score.
Well, I just wonder if Willow Flood will be able to continue. Certainly toiling on the touchline just now, in Aberdeen, just when they didn't want to be, are down to 10 men. There's movement inside the dugout for the Dons, so I think a change is in the offing here for the visitors. They lost Willow Flood to injury in the first half of their League Cup defeat across the city here to Hibernian, and it looks like they're going to have to make another change in an important cup tie in the first half. You can see Peter Pollitt's going to replace him.
Well, yeah, it's pace and zip to Aberdeen, but what they need just now is authority, and I thought Flood might provide that. Get on the ball and start making passes and getting players comfortable within the game, and then see if you can drive and cause problems for Hearts.
Talking of comfort, that's a position Hearts are in right now. Aberdeen cannot lay a glove on them. It's Callum Patterson's goal earlier in the first half, early in the game, within 4 minutes, his 6th of the season. which is doing the damage. McLean gets there ahead of Payardo. Down goes McLean. It's Johnny Hayes for Aberdeen. A slip there by Augustine, but it's Took. It's behind him. And Aberdeen are going to make the change now, so Paula on for Flood.
Well, definitely brings a goal threat. The Willow Flood doesn't offer, but as I say at the moment, Aberdeen, they need to get somebody to get the foot on the ball and make a few passes. Peter Pollock coming off the bench, they'll be looking for him to make an impact.
One of Peter Pollock's 2 best games for Aberdeen came here in the League Cup semi-final against St Johnstone. These good memories of this place, and it's Pollock immediately in action. Hearts clear through Ozturk. Immediate pressure there from Pollock. Scottish Cup 4th round moving back to its proper place in the calendar, you would say, in January. And played for the last few years at the end of November, beginning of December. And that's why these two didn't kick a ball in the entire calendar year of 2015 in this Scottish Cup competition. Here's Taylor. It's aimless.
Aberdeen made 10 or 12 passes there, but they moved 30 yards backwards, and then Ash Taylor decides to try a long ball and just gives possession back to Hearts.
How does that change for Aberdeen, reshuffle things? Kenny McLean presumably just moved back in beside Shinnie.
Yeah, you know, Kenny McLean is a goal threat, but just now he needs to go in there, and Shinnie's not a natural in there. You know, he's a better left back, but Aberdeen need these guys to get involved, and Peter Pollock, with his pace, if he can find a bit of room, get in one-on-one situations, he can certainly cause problems.
Here's Riley. Against Logan, who made his Aberdeen debut in that St Johnstone League Cup semi here. It's good play by Gavin Riley, scored a couple of goals over the festive period. He's arrived from Queen of the South in the summertime. Rossi's long throw is allowed to bounce twice. Now it's Boabin. Patterson, another corner. It's 8 corners now for Hearts in this first half.
It's another ball into the box, this time the throw, and Aberdeen just haven't got to grips with that high ball at all.
There's a lot of talk from the Aberdeen, some of the Aberdeen players certainly, about how physical Hearts were in the game at Pittodrie. It's almost like they were expecting the physicality, maybe they're spooked by it. It's Nicholson's corner. Taylor wins it that time. 5 to the break. Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0. Johnny Hayes challenged well by Rossi. Here's Riley. Aberdeen have been bullied. Still with Osman Sow. Hearts are 1 corner away from double figures in this first half.
It's pressure, pressure, pressure. Every 50-50 is currently being won by a player in maroon. Every single one.
Another in-swinger coming up from Sam Nicholson in front of a worried-looking Aberdeen support. Considine away, Payardo retrieves. Prince Boabin. by Taylor. Really looking to set Niall McGinn away here. Can McGinn beat Doom in the race? No is the answer. Great tracking back by Arno Doom. Well, you can't ask for more than that from your midfielder.
That's what you're looking for. Midfielders who are switched on, see danger and see it off.
Logan's cross. Almost dropped to McLean. It will come to Considine. Patterson was all over him there. Reynolds. An easy one for Alexander. There's a little push out there by Adam Rooney. It's a frustrated Aberdeen number 9.
Interesting to see. I think it was blocked off, you know, trying to put the goalkeeper under pressure, and I take it he's just pushed the player to the ground, but one or two Hearts players not too happy.
John Beaton trying to calm things down. The Hearts players putting a bit of pressure on the referee. The Hearts supporters are screaming for a red card for Adam Rooney here. It was certainly a push.
The problem with these situations is two players often get yellow carded here. You know, the two players who started it, if there's a melee, they both get yellow cards.
And cards out, looks like a yellow. It's a yellow for both.
Certainly a shove. It's a block and a shove, and you can see Augustine, he just stands his ground and Rooney shoves him to the ground.
It's frustration on Rooney's part, that's for sure. He hasn't been able to get into this at all. Pushing Augustine to the ground has earned him a yellow card, and complaining to the referee has earned Igor Rossi a caution as well. Robbie Nielsen will be ecstatic with his team's performance. He might be concerned though that it is just 1-0. Aberdeen have looked a bit punch drunk at times, but just the 1-0, and they've shown spirit in second half of matches this season. Have to try and rouse something after the interval, that's for sure. And it takes some turnaround if they're to save their Scottish Cup campaign. Considine and Patterson colliding, and that was a cup tie challenge.
That's a good old-fashioned challenge. Two players totally committed, no problem with that. Two players eye on the ball, playing the ball, good challenge.
Scottish Cup winner Craig Patterson watching on here, played his part in the best Scottish Cup final of all time, according to many. 4-3 win over Dundee United back in '91. Aberdeen haven't won the Scottish Cup since the season before that. Hearts have won it 3 times since the Dons last prevailed. About to go into stoppage time. A Willow Flood injury and the melee between Rooney, Rossi and Augustine a moment ago. Just the 1 minute at the end of this. And Derek McInnes has work to do in his 15 minutes that he will have with his squad. Might have even more work to do if Payardo can help Hearts to a second goal before the interval. It's Patterson. Final first half thoughts, Craig?
Well, it's been a terrific 45 minutes for Hearts. They have dominated from start to finish. Neil Alexander has been a virtual spectator. More of the same will be the shout from Robbie Nielsen. Derek McInnes has a job, half-time, get his players roused and get them back into this game.
The problem for Robbie Nielsen is he knows his team has not really been able to replicate this kind of performance over the course of a 90-minute match too often this season. It is half-time though at Tynecastle, and Callum Patterson gave Hearts the dream start from the corner inside the opening few minutes, heading home a Sam Nicholson corner, and Aberdeen have been up against it for the lion's share of that opening 45 minutes. Hearts causing them all kinds of problems. They did highlight the fact that They certainly had the height advantage before the game, and that has proven to be the case. At half-time in Edinburgh, it is Heart of Midlothian 1, Aberdeen 0.
Well, it didn't take Hearts long, Robbie Nielsen's team, to make their intentions clear at Tynecastle in this cup tie. Callum Patterson scoring with just over 2 minutes played. It is the only goal so far at Tynecastle. Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0. Let's get the thoughts of Michael Stewart and Willie Miller. And, well, what a start from Hearts, grabbing the initiative, Michael, right from the off.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfect, summing up there. It's the initiative that Hearts have taken right from the off. Even there in the goal, you see they win the first header, and Callum Patterson's the quickest to react to get the goal. And, I spoke about before the match of if Hearts are going to win this game, they need to be on the front foot and put Aberdeen under pressure, and they've certainly done that. And what you see is the fact that you starve their star players of any possession in any service. And that, to me, is what Hearts need to do and continue to do in the second half if they're going to come away with a victory today.
There was an outbreak of handbags, Willie, just before half-time, which saw Rooney and Rossi booked. And what it maybe underlines is Aberdeen's frustration at the way this match has gone so far.
Well, I think they should be frustrated as well. I mean, basically, they haven't played. They haven't been allowed to play. I would say that. It's been a superb performance from the home side. But, I think you can't let that frustration take over. What Aberdeen have got to try and do is get themselves into the game. And the way they'll get themselves into the game is by playing progressive football and building it up through the midfield. They're not doing that. Any time they get it at the back, it's a long ball forward. To who? That's not the way Aberdeen play. They get it down, they go through midfield, and they get it to the two important players. They get it to McGinn, they get it to Hayes.
But ultimately, that's a lot of it's down to the fact that Hearts, as you said, haven't allowed Aberdeen to do that. I mean, this is everybody talks about Tynecastle being such a hostile and difficult place to go, and the reason is because of games like this. When Hearts start on the front foot and put teams under pressure, it's not a massive pitch. So you can really close down the space and make it difficult for what Willie's talking about, for oppositions to play in and around the midfield. And when you do that, especially against this Aberdeen side, it does cause them problems because that's the way they want to play.
And Hearts have got a big presence. They've got a physicality about them. Not complaining about it in any way. I think the game's been played pretty fairly, but if it's been a physical battle, then there's no doubt there's only one winner in the first half, and that's been Hearts.
We'll get more specific thoughts from these two in a couple of minutes' time about that first half. The half-time scoreline at Tynecastle, Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0. But it's been a busy day of Scottish Cup fourth round football. In fact, a busy Friday night as well, because Partick Thistle put their name in Monday's draw with a 2-1 win in Paisley last night, followed today by these games. Airdrie 0, Dundee United 1 at the Excelsior. Dundee United scraping it, but any win's a good win for them at the moment. Blair Spittle got the only goal of that game. There is the big result of the day, the headline grabbers. League 2 Annan Athletic. Only since 2008 have they been a senior football club. And, well, they've taken care of Hamilton Accies in style today by 4-1. And players who have put their names in history, in club history. Matt Flynn, Josh Todd and Rabin Omar with 2 goals, the heroes for Annan today. What a night they will be having. Dumbarton 2, Queen of the South 1 in the Championship. The games at Dundee and East Kilbride were off. Cracking cup tie at East End Park. League 1 leaders Dunfermline drawing with Premiership Ross County. Linlithgow Rose have a replay coming up against Forfar at Station Park week on Tuesday. Morton 1 at Livingston, another Old Championship game. And Motherwell, the big winners of the top teams today, 5-0 it was against Cove Rangers. Stephen Pearson got 2 of those goals. Hibs are through after beating Wraith Rovers in Kirkcaldy by 2-0. Other results today saw the winners season before last, St Johnstone, knocked out by Kilmarnock. Craig Slater with the goal early, which proved to be the only one. And what a good result for League 2 Stirling Albion as well, holding the holders today. Inverness Cally Thistle had to settle for a goalless draw. Tomorrow night, Rangers against Cowdenbeath. You'll see highlights of that one, and Stranraer Celtic as well. 10:30 tomorrow night. It is 10:25 tonight. Lots of great games to look forward to, including Michael Annan Athletic.
Yeah, it's a fantastic result. you know, to come away 4-1 victors against a top-flight side, it speaks volumes, obviously, for the performance that they've put in today.
Stirling Albion, unfortunately, have to operate in the shadow of Annan today. Everyone is, but a great result for them to take care of the holders, 0-0, and a replay up in Inverness.
No, it definitely is a fabulous result for them. They had the home advantage. They've taken that home advantage. They'll now find it very difficult making the journey up to the Highlands. I think John Hughes will be relieved. He'll be a relieved manager just to see that one behind him, hoping that he can take full advantage of the home tie when it comes up.
The highlights well worth watching tonight, Michael, and I know you will have a strong say for Ross County's match at East End Park against Dunfermline. That looked like a cup classic. Yeah, it was a cracking, you know, game at East End Park. We were in the studio watching that one earlier on, and it was a real cup tie, traditional cup tie, end-to-end stuff. Lots of goal-mouth action and some really good goals as well. And you know, to be honest, right at the end there as well, Dunfermline hit the crossbar, and they could have beaten the Premiership side and knocked out Ross County. So yeah, it's very much one to watch tonight. In the BBC live match, it is Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0 half-time. Willie, you're looking very pained at that scoreline, and it didn't take long for this cup tie to explode into life.
No, it certainly didn't. You know, Hearts played the game very direct. They won the corner kick. For me, it's too easily won at the back post. I think Andrew Considine's got to be on his toes more. He's got to be aware of the players round about him. I mean, it's a good goal from a Hearts point of view. Callum Patterson, you know, he's definitely alert there just to get the little flick on it.
But you see with, you know, that corner there, the fact that I think it's Ozturk makes a run from the edge of the box, and it's whether, you know, I mean, you're always going to beat a standing jump, and that's what he's got. He's got the run from the edge of the box, and he gets above Considine. But you're right, for me, I think Considine's got to be on the half turn there. He's got to see where the ball's coming from and also recognise that Ozturk, who you're going to expect to come in for a header, he was loitering on the edge of the box, and he's got to, you know, see both the ball and him. He was a bit too closed off, and that was why Ozturk got above him.
That was a feature of the first 10 minutes of the match. It was almost incessant Hearts pressure, and Aberdeen looking very uncomfortable defensively.
Yeah, they weren't dealing with the physicality of Shaw up front. Mark Reynolds in particular struggled throughout the game. A little bit of misunderstanding here at the back post. You know, Shea Logan looking for Danny Ward to come out, Danny Ward not coming out, so a little bit of uncertainty. They were knocked off their stride, basically, Aberdeen. They didn't cope with it. Even that kind of effort to try and clear the chance. Danny Ward doing well and maybe not so well and holding on to it. But there's no doubt that Aberdeen, you know, were all over the place at that time, and they didn't have their shape. In fact, they changed their shape at the back. They went from a 4 to a 3 to try and cope with the attacking prowess of Hearts.
I think, you know, that you know, as Willie talks about change the formation, that, you know, tells its story in itself, that you know, they weren't comfortable with how the game was panning out, and they had to try and change and do something. But in all these clips you see Hearts winning the first ball, and not only that, they're first to the second ball as well, and really maintaining that pressure. Everything's in and around Aberdeen's box. They're not able to get out, and then, you know, you come into the fact that we talk about with Tynecastle, it can become such a suffocating venue where you don't feel like you can get out your own half, and then you end up guys at the back just lumping the ball up into, you know, areas where there's nobody there. And it becomes a very difficult game when that's the only thing you can effectively do. What doesn't help from an Aberdeen point of view as well, Willie, is that having already minus the captain, Ryan Jack, who plays that so important holding midfield position, Willow Flood's gone off there, and they've had to reshuffle.
No, absolutely. That was a blow to them. I think they have had no control in the game. They've had no control in the midfield, that's for sure. The way they've changed the game, though, gives them more players in the midfield, and I'm sure that Derek McInnes will be trying to emphasise how important it is to play through that area, because they haven't done that in the first half. And if Aberdeen don't do that, then there's no point in just playing balls forward. Adam Rooney's not really the type of, that you want to play it up. You want to get it into the wide areas. You want to get it into their important players. And to do that, they've got to show a bit of composure. But they've not been allowed time at all, so they've got to really do it very quickly. They've got to be sharp.
It's got to be really quick, because, you know, as Willie says there as well, when you're not being allowed the time to do that, the only way you can, you know, actually get through that press is to play really quickly, because the out ball, you know, up and over the top isn't really there for them. They've got to play through the middle, but do it really quickly, and that means that they've got to have the whole team looking and wanting the ball. If you've got 2 or 3 guys that start hiding, it's game over.
The Hearts team selection was as an eyebrow raiser in some ways pre-match. No Juanma. Osman Sow was always going to play, but as it is, it's through the middle.
Yep.
And he's a real handful. Aberdeen really struggling to cope with his power and his pace.
Yeah, I mean, I think when Osman Sow is on his game, he is a real handful for the opposition. And you see here just a turn and then driving forward. And this is against Mark Reynolds, who's no slouch. He's quick and he causes real problems. He gets a booking for this as well early on in the game. Look at that, he's holding off the two guys and driving forward. When he plays to his strengths, Osman Sow is a real handful for any defender in the league. And I think that of late, Osman Sow has really come onto a game. He's doing all those things and running in behind. We spoke about it before the game with Joom and Niall McGinn. Osman Sow's got that in his game as well. When he runs in behind, he causes defences real problems, and he's done that today. The
challenge for Hearts is to maintain it, isn't it, in the second half?
Well, absolutely. I think their physical shape will be brought under the microscope. That's for sure, because everybody's put in a lot of work in the first half. They are a strong physical side. I'm sure that that will allow them to keep going for part of the second half, but whether it will allow them to go for the full 90 minutes at that kind of tempo, at that pace, closing down Aberdeen, not allowing them any space, then only time will tell. But from an Aberdeen point of view, they've got to start playing the ball on the ground. They've got to start and try build it up through the midfield. They haven't done that yet. I've watched them a number of times this season. They haven't, over the course of the season, played a fantastic 90 minutes, but they've played some wonderful 45 minutes, and they need that in the second half.
Contrasting emotions, not surprisingly, on the touchline as we observe Robbie Neilson and Derek McInnes. It's been pretty painful so far for the Aberdeen manager.
Yeah, it has been, but the one thing that he'll be taking out of this game so far is the fact that there's only one goal in it. And that's a very, very fine margin. You can, the goal can be scored in such a short space of time that he'll be drilling that into the team that they're not out this by a long stretch. Hearts have dominated the first half, and Robbie will be, delighted with the performance. On the flip side, he'll be disappointed that it is only a one-goal deficit. So it's all to play for in the second half, and they've got to make sure, from Hearts' perspective, that they, replicate that first half performance. And as I said, Derek McInnes will be drilling into his players. Look, go out there and get into the game, because it's only one goal.
That is the big plus from an Aberdeen point of view, isn't it? To be only one down. It could have been a whole lot worse. And Derek McInnes has to be thinking that his team will be a whole lot better after the interval.
Well, he's got to be thinking and hoping, but they've got to do something about it. If Hearts maintain, and if they can maintain the tempo that they're playing at, the pressure game that they're playing, the direct route that they're going, the physicality that they've got in their game, then Aberdeen will find it really difficult, no matter how much the manager tries to change the system, no matter how much he says at half-time. It's down to the players to get it into their mind, to play the way that Aberdeen should be playing, getting the ball down, being progressive through the midfield, out into the wide areas, and allow their more creative players to create something, because basically they haven't created anything at all in the first half.
Is it about attitude and mentality for Hearts in the second half as much, Michael, as anything else?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, again, I spoke about this before the game, about that mentality of going after the game and not being too passive. And Willie talks about whether Hearts are going to be able to continue that in the second half. It's amazing what the crowd can do. And as I said, it's a small, tight pitch. Energy levels, you're not wasting too much, you're not chasing too far like Hampden or something like that. It's a huge park. So they can maintain it. And once you do that and you get the crowd lifted as well, it's amazing how much energy you can draw from them. So I think the mentality's got to be that continue what you were doing in the first half and going after Aberdeen, and then the crowd will lift you and keep you going right through. I think that it's something that they should be able to do for the full 90 minutes.
Here's the moment of the match so far at Tynecastle, the only goal. We didn't have to wait too long for it either. Just over 2 minutes gone when Robbie Neilson's team hit the front. Aberdeen under pressure right from kick-off, and it was Callum Patterson. It was his 5th goal of the season, heading in from close range, and that is the only goal so far, despite Hearts' efforts at adding to their advantage. So the home team out at the start of the second half. Osman Sow has been hot to handle up front for Hearts, but it's Patterson with the only goal so far. Are Aberdeen about to mount a fight back in this William Hill Scottish Cup 4th round tie? We will find out. You'll see it right here live on the BBC. Craig Patterson and Liam McLeod.
Cheers, Rob. The 13th Scottish Cup meeting. Hearts have only won 2 of the previous clashes. was in 96's semi-final at Hampden, and here in 2006 against the Jam Tarts to get us back underway, all in maroon, going left to right, attacking Gorgie Road. Aberdeen in the black and white, and hoping for better in the second half. As poor as they were, Hearts were excellent and prevented Aberdeen from really playing the kind of game that they played here in September. No further changes at half-time. Aberdeen, of course, had to take off Willow Flood in the opening 45, replacing him with Peter Pollitt. Here's Anoju. You just wonder what Derek McInnes was saying to his players at the break, Craig.
Yeah, he's got to come up with some kind of plan to get back into the game. I think they'll press Hearts. Hearts are doing it to them, so Aberdeen are going to try and knock Hearts off their stride. I see Johnny Hayes pulled out to the left-hand side now. Niall McGinn got very little out of Callum Patterson in the first half. Aberdeen be hoping that Johnny Hayes can do a bit better.
Augustine gets the break of the ball. In goes Shinnie to pinch it back for Aberdeen. Now Pollitt. Hayes. Pollitt wasn't the favourite there, but he was barged to the ground by Payardo, who was booked in the first half. Well, he has to be careful.
Yeah, it's an awkward challenge to be making there. You know you've been yellow carded. Look how far from the goal it is. You know, to go into the backup player, you know it's going to be a free kick, and you now brought yourself to the attention of the referee again.
Well, as he did at Pittodrie last month, he might have brought himself more to the attention of his manager. Maybe having a little think to himself about a change. Niall McGinn then with the Aberdeen free kick. Should be Alexander's, and is. Neil Alexander with 8 clean sheets this season. This is his 24th game. They only have 1 clean sheet in the last 7, Hearts, and that's been missed by Considine. This is Riley aiming to profit. He has Osman So in the middle. Taylor didn't know where So was. He peeled back towards the penalty spot. Patterson's ball in's poor. It's away by McLean. Kept alive by Payardo. Considine hoists clear.
I think that's the chance gone from Hearts. Andy Considine misreads the ball. Gavin Riley, he's got to pick out that final pass. Hard thing to do, but knocked it straight into the area where Ash Taylor could clear.
Aberdeen still with the likes of Cammy Smith and David Goodwillie on the bench. Goodwillie scored his only 2 goals of the season here in the 3-1 win. Taylor read that well initially. They're shouting for handball against the big Aberdeen defender. It's Hayes beating Boabin. Augustine always favourite against McGinn. Here goes Doom. Shinnie on the Hearts midfielder.
Yeah, now we've seen a couple of bookings for lesser fouls, if you like. No, Graham Shinnie's come in there, he's late, possibly because it's on the halfway line. The other one's got a player driving in on goal, but for me that's a poorer challenge than the 2 yellow cards we saw early in the game.
Shinnie, I think, has played half his games for Aberdeen in the midfield. He's versatile. It's Boabin. Shinnie clear. Indeed, Shinnie played right back for Cali Thistle in the final against Falkirk in May last year. He lifted the trophy. Lifting the trophy feels a long way away for Graham Shinnie right now, though. It's gone Aberdeen's way. Well, we're right at the back of the Wheatfield stand here at Tynecastle, and surrounded by Hearts supporters who all disagree with John Beaton and his linesman.
Something, did he get it right? Hard to tell whose shoe it came off. The fact that Callum Patterson's gone backwards suggests to me that he thought he touched it out, but you're going to argue your case anyway.
This is promising for the host here. It's Arnaud Djoum who's got Osman Sow into his right. Heavy touch from Sow. Danny Ward goes long. McGinn's going to get there. He goes in early for Adam Rooney, who misses it completely, and Ozturk can clear. That just came from one long Danny Ward pass all the way out to Niall McGinn.
Good spot from the goalkeeper. Great ball forward. When McGinn eventually gets the ball in, Rooney's he's beyond the front post. He knows he can't score. I think he's tried to help it on, but Aberdeen had, Hearts, should I say, had enough defenders back.
Problem here for Aline Ozturk. Just back in the Hearts team, of course, after 3 months out. He's going to continue for now. Aberdeen were really dragged through the mud in that first half. And Boabin's done enough to tow it on to Djoum. A foul by Considine on Sow. He's not having the best of nights, Andrew Considine, so far. Scored here for Aberdeen in a League Cup semi-final against Dundee United that the Dons would go on to lose heavily. It's a Craig Levine Dundee United side. Craig Levine, the director of football here. But what it's done is it's given Hearts a free kick and a chance to load the box. So, amongst others, wait, it's Ozturk's ball in. And across the bows of Logan, this is Nicholson. Every break of the ball going Hearts' way at the moment. Nicholson goes to ground. Logan wins possession. I think when you examine the 45 minutes that we saw in that first half, Craig, you have to say it's one of the poorer Aberdeen performances this season, and arguably the best 45 from Hearts, who are coming forward again here. Nicholson brought down by Logan, and now it's a free kick. And again, Craig, as I'm just talking about the first half, the pressure is on this Aberdeen defence.
Yeah, every Hearts player fancies their chances now. You know, Sam Nicholson, he's got good feet, he's going to drive at defenders, and he's going to draw the free kick, and it's a great area for the Hearts.
Well, it's Ozturk who's over it, right on the angle. More duress for Danny Ward. Rossi's out there as well. You fancy Ozturk, who has scored free kicks aplenty for Hearts last season. It is Ozturk!
Quite comfortable for the goalkeeper, but from there, you're going to hit the target. He struck it well, but just not enough movement on the ball to worry the keeper.
Here's Niall McGinn for Aberdeen. Hayes. Here's Considine. He went early. Rooney goes to ground this time. John Beaton had a right good look at that. He's turned a blind eye.
Yeah, certainly a big shout from Aberdeen players. Probably the best piece of play from Aberdeen. You know, they're getting the ball into the box there, but you know, the question was Adam Rooney grabbed. You can see Ozturk's got the arm round the shoulder. He goes down. If the referee sees that, he could well have given the pen.
It certainly looked that way. Apologies if you are hearing any bad language in the background. Frantic cup tie here at Tynecastle. And it's a cup tie that Hearts lead, and at the moment they are heading into Monday's draw for the last 16. But here come Aberdeen, the rear foray forward. It's Niall McGinn. Blocked by the first man. Johnny Hayes gets a second chance, and that's poor as well. Well, when Aberdeen aren't clicking, you can tend to look at Johnny Hayes and Niall McGinn, because when they do click, it's normally them that have them clicking.
Yeah, they're the catalysts. You know, they're the guys who get on the ball and drive the opposition back, take on fullbacks, get to bylines. Hasn't happened. And here's the ball into the box again from Adam Rooney. You know, that arm round the shoulder is not clever, but in the first half, Callum Patterson was dragged down exactly the same way at a corner. So, you know, if you say 6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
Addison rather sliced that ball, allowed Taylor to clear. All the time that comes off again. Ali Mostert took a risk looking for Augustine, and Neil Alexander had a little doubt in his mind and he botches his clearance. Little moments like that can just give the impetus to the opposition.
Yeah, composure's a wonderful thing, but you know, in some areas I think your first thought has got to be take no chances.
Pollock wins the free kick this time. Well, both clubs would have been cursing the draw that they were handed at this stage, but really, not often in the Scottish Cup you get an easy tie, and the holders Cali Thistle were held by Stirling Albion today. 0-0. Fourth back, so they'll replay a week and a half. Aberdeen supporters in good voice. Here's McGinn against Nicholson. McGinn gets the break this time. Back it comes, just a little bit too far for Taylor. That's McLean, who is capable from there.
Well, he had to take the shot on, didn't he? But he was desperate to see that ball coming to his opposite foot on his left side. I think there was a chance of worrying the goalkeeper. Good play from Niall McGinn, but when it comes back, I think Kenny McLean never looked confident he was going to be hitting target.
Well, as things stand, Aberdeen, you would think, would be delighted if they got a replay out of this. If there was to be a replay, it's in a few days' time, Wednesday night at Pittodrie. Still though Hearts in the box seat. They haven't been perhaps quite as dominant in the opening minutes of the second half. We're almost at the hour mark. Still, Neil Alexander hasn't really had a save to make. That'll concern Derek McInnes. Pollock this time is upended by Rossi.
I think Aberdeen are stopping Hearts playing better, but now they need to start playing themselves. Peter Pollock just gets his toe in there, goes to ground, gets his team a free kick in a good area.
Well, you just never know, do you? Aberdeen battered Dundee in the Scottish Cup last season and went out. Different story this time around, but they have a free kick here. It's McGinn who takes it. It's not bad. Alexander gets there, but the flag's up.
Must be offside. That's an old Aberdeen free kick, isn't it? That'll take Willie back to the good old days. I think it was Gordon Strachan used to work that one.
Get the game against Bayern Munich, of course.
Look like you've made a pig's ear of it, and then get a really dangerous ball into the box.
Willie Miller watching on back in the studio, and Aberdeen haven't won the Scottish Cup since his playing days. And that Scottish Cup final was the first to be decided by a penalty shootout against Celtic. Well, the Dons certainly see more of the ball. It's what they do with it. It is the big problem for them right now. Just a sense that Hearts looking a bit less relaxed at the back. They do tend to leak goals. It's Logan. It was a league game here recently against Dundee. They were 1-0 up and they were all over Dundee. Paul Hartley's men found a way back to collect a 1-each draw. A good run forward there by Blabin. June held on to it though. Nicholson gives it away. McGinn. He gives it straight back to Hearts. We're on the hour. Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0, as it's been since minute 3. Indeed, when Aberdeen won that cup in 1990, they defeated Hearts en route. Of course, Hearts did likewise in beating Aberdeen in 2006. For their own penalty shootout victory over Gretna. And another offside against Aberdeen. Reasons to be optimistic for the Aberdeen supporters just in the last 16 minutes?
Well, certainly better. As I say, they've stopped Hearts dominating the way they did in the first half, but you've still got to create some kind of chance. You need an opportunity. You need to look at Neil Alexander's goal, and that means somebody producing a bit of magic.
29 to go. Chilly night in Gorgie. The Hearts were red hot in that first half. Nielsen, Stevie Crawford looking after things in the technical area for Hearts these days. He's not happy with something, with someone. Eric McInnes. Ending Aberdeen's long wait for silverware in that 2014 League Cup triumph. As far as the cups are concerned, it's been utter frustration for Aberdeen since then. Losing the Scottish Cup semi-final to St Johnstone, losing the first hurdle last season, out of the League Cup semi-finals as Prince Blabin picks up. Over by Reynolds. Aberdeen struggling here. Rossi takes the sting out of it. Ozturk. There's Nicholson. Well, I just wonder, had that not been deflected behind, if that was sailing into a top corner, because Danny Ward looked concerned.
Yeah, well, certainly his touch was great, and it sat up asking to be volleyed. He's hit it well, and yeah, nobody's going to know, but when you see the goalkeeper scrambling like that, he knew it was going to be close.
Hearts into double figures. 10-1 they lead in the corner count. Augustine over Reynolds' head again, but crucially it went over Augustine's head that time too.
He should have just headed it back into the box. I think he wanted to take it on his chest and have a blast at goal, but he's been great at that back post area, just winning headers and getting that ball back in the mixer.
Here's June. Hearts were just relieved that it wasn't Celtic they were playing, because Celtic have knocked them out of the last 3 cup competitions. Aberdeen's defence of the League Cup last season ended in the semis to Dundee United before they went out of this season's competition across the city here in Leith to Hibernian, who have a semi-final right here to look forward to against St Johnstone at the end of the month. Patterson's that nicked off him by Rooney, who's got Pollitt in the middle. He went himself though.
Yeah, Peter Pollitt's asking for the ball, but the thing, Adam Rooney as a striker, as soon as you get clear, poor touch Callum Patterson, he's not looking for anybody in the middle, he's looking for that shot on target.
Fair play to Alexander though, because he had to hold on to it. Pollitt was waiting for any scraps that might have been coming his way. Draw for round 5 of the William Hill Scottish Cup to come on Monday evening. Hayes. Again, well, Alexander does punch it away, but John Beaton's not happy with the challenge.
It's better from Aberdeen. Johnny Hayes all of a sudden gets a bit of space out here, knocks the ball into the box, looks at a goalkeeper's ball, and he's under a bit of pressure, but for the life of me I couldn't see the free kick there unless it's a bit of a push, possibly by Graham Shinnie.
Alexander, who was the Rangers goalkeeper choice when they won the cup in 2008. He's a good kicker, Danny Ward. You can see that there. He's picked out Johnny Hayes. Fouled by Patterson.
Normally I would say it's a great chance, you know, to get the ball into the box, but I think Ash Taylor's got to be the target. Nobody else in the Aberdeen team is winning these high balls, but it's an opportunity. If you get it in there, you never know what can happen.
As always, it's Hayes and McGinn who are over it. He's leaving the scene. McGinn's ball. And a drop back to Hayes here. It's good play by Hayes. Across it comes! Oh, scooped over! What a chance that was for Considine. What a miss.
Well, opportunities do not come any better. I said that. Get it in there and then just take your chances. When this shot comes across, Andy Considine get that on target. The goalkeeper's no chance. And he's managed to get his toe under the ball, and it's up and over the bar. And Aberdeen's haven't had many chances. That is a gilt-edged opportunity that has gone a begging.
Well, OK, Considine's probably expecting Adam Rooney to get a touch onto that. It's doing him a favour. It's still a huge chance and a huge moment in this cup tie. Relief for Hearts. They still lead as we go into the final quarter. Shinnie under all kinds of pressure. 3 and 4 Hearts players around them, and it's Miguel Pallardo's ball, which is calmly dealt with by Taylor.
Now Hearts need to calm things down. You know, Aberdeen will get themselves back into the game. Now the Hearts players in the midfield don't need to play that killer ball and score another goal. Just keep making passes, take the sting out of Aberdeen.
It's a bad miss by Considine, but it might just light the blue touch paper under the visitors, who barely troubled Neil Alexander all night. Making a change shortly. Billy King is going to come on for Sam Nicholson. Nicholson hasn't been anywhere near as prominent in the second half. Took a knock earlier as well in winning the free kick that Hearts had at the edge of the box. Seems to be moving OK. Rooney did well. Forcing it back to McLean. Ambitious ball by McLean for Hayes, away by Patterson. Wabin straight on to Considine there. Considine was short with it. It's Reynolds up against Wabin. Wabin to Riley. Osman Sow. Big chance. Andrew Considine's having a horrible night, but Osman Sow was looking to try and put Hearts into the next stage, because Aberdeen right now, whilst they could come back from a 1-goal deficit, you struggle to see them scoring twice.
No, but it's getting to the stage where Aberdeen they've got to roll the dice, haven't they? They've got to take chances, they've got to leave themselves man for man at the back.
Hogan's ball. Okay. So going close.
Yeah, Andy Considine gets caught by Prince Boabin, then he thinks one-on-one, can I get Reynolds? Blocked off, and then eventually it comes to Osman Sow. He's always going to take on the shot. Not enough to beat the goalkeeper, but he did hit the target.
Yeah, just as you watch Osman Sow testing Danny Ward, that Hearts change being made, and Sam Nicholson appear to be struggling somewhat. And mentioned he and Jamie Walker earlier on in the game during the first half was breaking into the Hearts team at the same time as Callum Patterson. Billy King, another one. And he, 21, will get the final 20 minutes of this game.
Yeah, like for like, Sam Nicholson. He's run his course, worked away. You know, didn't get much change out in the Aberdeen defence, but I tell you what, putting a tower of work back the park, closing down and doing what Hearts have done magnificently all night.
They're good pals, Billy King and Sam Nicholson. They swap places. And Aberdeen are going to make a change shortly as well, and David Goodwillie is going to come on for Andrew Considine, we hear. But there you are, there's the confirmation of it. Considine, who's Mr. Sitter, he's had a few nervy moments at the back as well, so Graham Shinnie will move over to left back, and David Goodwillie will come on to help Adam Rooney. He scored twice here in the league in September, and Aberdeen need more magic from him.
Yeah, well, he knows that, the Hearts defenders know that. Derek McInnes hoping that history might just repeat itself.
It's a polar opposite performance in the first half from Aberdeen as it was that day. They were 3-0 up here, the men in black and white tonight, that day. First you'll touch of the ball here for King. Kicked off him by Shinnie. Now McLean. McGinn. Tollett. It's cleverly done. McGinn shuffles away from June. Very, very tight for Aberdeen though, and Logan miscontrols. It's been that kind of night for Aberdeen.
Yeah, just about sums it up. You know, I think you're driving forward, so Aberdeen players might just take a look at the goal and go for it, but saw a teammate in a good position out wide, but that final pass let them down again.
Well, again, Hearts continuing this wonderful scoring record that they have. They've now only failed to score in 8 of their last 75 matches all told. 3 of those games were against Celtic, including 2 cup ties. Just 4 times this season. Against Celtic, they did pick up a point that day in a 0-0 draw in Glasgow. Cali Thistle, St Johnstone, and tonight's opponents in that game at Pittodrie. And they were aggrieved to drop anything in that game, really. Jordan McGee's late handball. Logan's forced to concede the throw-in. Igor Rossi's walking up to take this. Every second's a prisoner. Hearts edging closer to the 5th round. Misunderstanding there between Payardo and June. There's Öztürk. Rossi, So's onside. He's got Riley in the middle. No, it's the right idea by the big Swede.
Yeah, it's too near the goals. You know, if he's not going to take on the shot, I think he might just be on his level with Mark Reynolds there. But then when you get there, he needs to come straight across or slightly cut back. Players in the middle, no chance of making up the ground.
Callum Patterson with the only goal of this cup tie so far. It came early. They've not really looked like surrendering it. There was that Considine opportunity, which was scooped over. By and large, Hearts have kept Aberdeen at arm's length.
I think the Hearts back four has been immense. Every one of them, they're big, they're strong, they're athletic, and they've given absolutely nothing away.
He's looked like a class act since arriving at Hearts. That's a lovely ball as well. Hearts have options in the middle too. A good run there by Riley. Well, it takes his eye off it, and the pressure's back on Aberdeen here. Here's King. Riley left it, and Hearts still emerge with the ball. Guabin. Patterson. Away by Taylor. Hearts going to bring in Juanma on in a moment for Gavin Riley. That's gone over the head of Reynolds. So is in here. Oh, good covering back there by Ash Taylor.
Well, a debt of gratitude to his centre-back partner, because it's a decent ball forward from Callum Patterson, misread by Mark Reynolds. Taylor makes some great ground there to get in the challenge.
Well, Aberdeen were staring down the barrel of Scottish Cup exit there. Just 14 minutes to play. Billy King's corner kick is away by Logan. Boabin. Nice change of gear there from Prince Boabin. So they're suddenly finding loads of space again. So's effort spilt by Ward. With an option in Rossi out wide left as well there. But So couldn't resist.
I think he tried to surprise the goalkeeper by pulling the trigger really early.
Still Aberdeen in this cup tie. The question is, can they put the Hearts defence, which has been barely tested this evening, under the cosh in the closing stages of it? Here's Pollitt. He's looked quite good. It's coming on for the injured Willow Flood in the first half. This is McLean. Corner. Did come off Payardo.
You know, I mentioned the Hearts back four, but June and Payardo in front have been quality as well. Just never given Aberdeen a minute to settle on the ball.
Well, this is just Aberdeen's second corner kick of the night. They're in a hurry. Understandably so. And it comes from Hayes. It's deep. Easily away by King. And now it's So. This is where Aberdeen punished Hearts in the league meeting here early in the season, and So can release Billy King here. Danny Ward's committed himself, and he had to. Well, that's another potential major point in this Scottish Cup tie.
Too much on the pass, but credit Danny Ward. He was on his toes. He started from a good position, made up the ground really quickly, and that was a good challenge.
Willie. And still Hearts are chasing Aberdeen every time a Dons player has the ball. It's a great take there by Shinnie. Away from Boabin. Forward to Goodwillie. Back to Shinnie. Pinched from him by Augustine. There's Hayes. As you would expect, with the height advantage, have dealt with those long balls, those cross balls, all night pretty soundly. Goodwillie takes it in. Pollitt, was he pushed? Yes, says John Beaton.
That's the kind of area where you would like to cause problems, but it's a little bit further out than I would imagine. Somebody thinking they could beat the goalkeeper from there, so you know, Aberdeen got something off the training ground to open up this Hearts defence.
Well, I told you about this ages ago. It's Juanma on for Riley. And he's made an impression as Juanma since arriving in the summer. He is on for the closing stages of it. 9 goals this campaign. Osman So recently replaced him as top scorer. He's on 10.
You think Kenny McLean fancies this?
Long way out, isn't it? But he's got just over 10 minutes left. for he and his teammates to try and salvage this. McGinn does leave it for McLean. Comfortable for Alexander.
Yeah, it's the modern day free kick where it's a side foot and the ball moves and it causes all sorts of problems for the goalkeeper, but too straight and no movement.
It's never threatening Neil Alexander, that one. Rossi to King. Just gone out of play. This was another hairy moment for the Aberdeen defence.
Yeah, well, if the final pass is better here, no, it's one-on-one, but look how much the goal at the ground the goalkeeper makes up there. Really good play from the keeper.
Danny Ward on loan from Liverpool. He signed a 5-year contract before he arrived on loan at Aberdeen. He's highly thought of at Anfield as much as he is at Pittodrie. This is Shinnie to Goodwillie. It's his old Dundee United Scottish Cup winning teammate Prince Boabanu takes it away from. So I think is offside here, yep. I think he knew it himself. But again, the clock ticks down.
Yeah, well, Aberdeen, they need a bit of craft, don't they? It's a clever ball there, and he does just start in the offside position, so the linesman got it spot on, but Aberdeen need a little bit of craft, a little bit of guile in that final third.
You just can't get it going in the final third, though. Although that's a heavy touch by Payardo. Hayes was out-muscled and buoyed there by Callum Patterson. It's been the story for Aberdeen tonight.
To be fair, you know, it was McGinn in the first half, went at Patterson, got nothing out of him, and they changed it, and Johnny Hayes, second half, hasn't really got a lot more.
It's his goal that's sending Hearts through at Aberdeen's expense. As things stand. 2 ties to come tomorrow. Rangers, Cowdenbeath, Stranraer, Celtic. Coverage on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland for that. Hearts just trying to see this out. Aberdeen yet to beat Hearts in a Scottish Cup tie at Tynecastle. They have won here in the Scottish Cup previously against Dundee United in the semi-final when they last won the trophy. They're heading out as things stand though, as Ward holds on. You just thought for a second anything McLean got in that might have taken it past his keeper.
Aberdeen have struggled with that ball all evening.
And they'd rip your arm off for a replay, Aberdeen. Hearts 7 minutes away though, plus a stoppage time. And a place in the last 16. Denny McInnes and Tony Docherty. Still Tony Docherty writing things down on his pad, but it's all about what's left on the clock, and there's not much of it for Aberdeen. For Hearts, not much of it to defend. It's been one of their top performances of the season. They've been up for it. They've been up to it at Robbie Nielsen's side. Hearts about to bring on Jordan McGee, who infamously, if you're a Hearts supporter, gifted Aberdeen a victory at Pittodrie. His fan match flagged off. Literally handed Aberdeen 3 points that day conceding the late penalty, which was converted by Adam Rooney. And Derek McInnes has decided to push Ash Taylor up as an auxiliary striker, I think. Certainly pushed him forward for this free kick, and I expect him to stay there. We shall see. Free kick comes to nothing though. Rossi gives it away. It's Kenny McLean who's got McGinn on the overlap. Here's McLean. To McGinn now down to the byline. It's not a bad ball in. Rooney's header straight at Alexander. Hearts survive.
Yeah, better again from Aberdeen. Hearts give the ball away. It was Rossi, but now McGinn gets there. It's a decent ball into the middle. It's not quite clear. Darren Rooney doesn't get enough on that final effort.
Final 5. Shea Logan takes the high road. Rooney did win that. Augustine with a crucial touch. He barges Pollock to the ground. A very silly place to give it away as well.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, that's booked for it as well, but it's one of those challenges. You're going in full pelt, the player gets there before you, you lean into him, you know the player's going to go to ground, and you know the referee's going to give away a free kick in a dangerous area.
As a yellow card came out. It's Augustine, I think, got the card there. It was Ozturk who was bellowing at John Beaton, the referee. Meantime, it's an Aberdeen free kick. They haven't really threatened with the free kicks, Aberdeen, in this game, as we have seen them do on numerous occasions this season. Set pieces is something that they have utilised to their benefit, and they do so here. McGinn with the right or McLean with the left. Both capable. There's McLean, it's off the wall. It's back with McGinn, and it's well wide. The Hearts move a step closer to the next stage.
Yeah, it's a big wall. So many Hearts players are 6 foot plus. Difficult to get it up and down quick enough, but we're running out of time, and that's another chance gone for Aberdeen. Just didn't strike it well enough, didn't get it up and over that wall.
There's Niall McGinn's effort there, and meantime Osman Sow is being replaced by Jordan McGee. Robbie Nielsen shoring things up as we move towards the final couple of minutes. They're almost there. Second in the Premiership against third in the Premiership. And Aberdeen's season might be down to just the league again. There was Aleem Ozturk who was booked just a moment ago rather than Rossi, who committed the foul. Ozturk had plenty to say. Taylor didn't really get much on that, but it does come to Goodwillie. Was that a hand? Yes, says the referee. Hearts free kick.
Yeah, free kicks like that just let Hearts out far too easily.
Craig's decided who his William Hill Scottish Cup Man of the Match is, and I don't think it's going to come as much of a surprise to that many people. Craig?
Yeah, well, it could have been a team award. I think Hearts have been that good tonight, but the one goal separates the sides. He scored the goal. He dealt with Niall McGinn in the first half. He's dealt with Johnny Hayes in the second half. So my William Hill Man of the Match is going to be Callum Patterson of Hearts.
Let's go all the way back to Alexander. Deals with it. The final minute of the 90. Stoppage time not included. Aberdeen's need is urgent. The Dons haven't been in the Scottish Cup final since 2000. Semi-finalists under Derek McInnes a couple of seasons ago. Hayes with the cross. It's going to come to McGinn, spilt by Alexander. Rossi's there. That coming in the dying seconds of the 90 minutes, and that's a foul there by Pollitt.
Hard to tell how serious. It just looks like a tackle, you know, but great effort now. McGinn came to him quickly. He hits the target from a difficult angle.
The stoppage time will be 4 minutes, which we have gone into.
The ball across. For me, you know, you may say he's gone through the player to get the ball, but I don't think there's any danger of doing any damage to the player.
Rooney flicks on, that's Taylor. Open under here for Goodwillie. Goodwillie wins Aberdeen a corner. Danny Ward is coming up for it. All hands to the pump.
Well, he's been a star ton for Aberdeen this season, but is he a goal scorer?
It's a deep delivery, which is won by Reynolds. By Alexander from the Taylor header. The Hearts fans desperate for Neil Alexander to batter the ball forward with Danny Ward in the opponent's box.
It's good work from Aberdeen. Reynolds wins the first one. Ash Taylor first to react. No pace on the ball, tries to generate pace. Can't beat the keeper, can't generate enough pace to worry Neil Alexander.
Well, he thought it was in, didn't he, Derek McInnes? Time stoppage here because Ali Mozturk is decked. Clock ticks down. Well, this is all done. It's an Aberdeen throw-in midway inside the Hearts half. Hayes. It's away from a couple of challenges, and Callum Patterson scythes him down. I think Hearts are saying that the ball was played out by them to allow attention to be given to Lee Mozturk. Johnny Hayes has not given Hearts the ball back. That's where this needle has come from.
Yeah, this is unfortunately a nonsense you get at the end of every game now, because you know, if Hearts knock the ball out, one of their players is down. Aberdeen think, well, that's vital minutes or vital seconds that we can't get attacking, and Johnny Hayes decided to play on, and a bit of a bad feeling about this if this ball ends up in the back of the net.
Well, this could be the last chance for Aberdeen. Ward stays up. It's going to be Niall McGinn to take. We're about to go into the final minute of injury time. Was there a push there? There was by Shane Logan. It's a Hearts free kick, and that might be just about it.
I think you'll find Neil Alexander, experienced campaigner, will take an absolute eternity to take this free kick, get it out somewhere wide. As long as you don't kick it down the middle and invite the ball back on you.
It's another yellow card for Alexander. Foster, Patterson, Alexander all booked. This can tote up across the competition. So you'd imagine Hearts will be continuing in the competition. John Beaton might add on a little bit extra once the 4 minutes are done. The Hearts are so close. And Aberdeen are so close to the exit door again. Another painful Scottish Cup night for Aberdeen by the looks of things, unless they can rescue it here. Goodwillie's going to chase, he gets there. Taylor, no, Logan, corner.
The pressure's on. Aberdeen keep knocking at the door, but so far every ball that's come in there, Hearts have managed to block.
Well, it's all on this. All or nothing for Aberdeen. If Hearts defend this, they are through. Niall McGinn's corner. Ward will give chase, Hearts will come away with it, and John Beaton will signal the end of the cup tie. Hearts are through to round 5. A wonderful first half performance has taken them through inside 3 minutes is enough to take the Jam Tarts through to the next stage of the Scottish Cup. For Aberdeen, it is another early exit. They go out at the first hurdle, as they did last season. A wonderful performance, though, from the hosts, one of their best of the campaign. They were vibrant, they were confident, and they have seen the job through. Aberdeen paying for a poor first half. They were better in the second, but it's a painful night for them, and it's a joyful one for the Jam Tarts, thanks to that man Callum Patterson's 6th goal of the season. It finishes here at Tynecastle. Heart of Midlothian 1, Aberdeen 0.
That's a powerful performance from Hearts. They blasted out of the blocks thanks to that man there, Callum Patterson, and they've got the job done, Michael Stewart.
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head there. It was a powerful performance. Maybe lacked a wee bit of guile from time to time in the second half, but I think over the piece, I don't think too many people can argue with the end result. Although there's no doubt that Aberdeen did come back into it in the second half without creating any real clear-cut opportunities apart from that Andrew Considine chance.
And maybe Ash Taylor's header towards the end as well. But did they deserve to take this tie any further? In fact, we'll get that answer from you in just a second. Have a think about it, Willie. We'll hear now from the man whose goal won the match tonight and has taken Hearts into the last 16, Callum Patterson.
Callum, congratulations, your goal, the difference, it's progression for Hearts, a deserved victory in the end?
Yeah, I mean, we played probably our best football in the first half, and we were a bit slack in the second, but we deserved the result.
Talk me through that goal.
It's just a bit of reaction. I mean, we'd worked on the corner during the week, and it wasn't meant to go to me at all. It just fell at me, and I lucky I put it in the back of the net.
It looked like a very tough shift out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. They're a top squad. I mean, they're second in the league. They're not there by chance, and we did well to beat them.
We know that the team spirit at this club is huge. How far can that take you in this competition?
No, I mean, it's a massive thing. It's not just in cups. I mean, it's a massive thing in the league as well. And we've got a good squad and a good atmosphere in the changing room as always. So we need to take that on to the next round and on to the next league games.
Well, Callum, as I say, congratulations. You are the man of the William Hill Scottish Cup Man of the match. Enjoy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Callum Patterson's 5th goal of the season takes Hearts into the William Hill Scottish Cup last 16. He's always a young man who's involved in games, isn't he? And the only goal of this game couldn't have been much earlier.
No, it couldn't have been, and he took it well. He had to react to the ball coming to him. He was in the right place at the right time, but he got a good touch on it, good power as well, and it found the back of the net. I thought throughout the game he was superb. Johnny Hayes was well marshalled by him, that's for sure. This is a goal that we're watching. And he reacts to it, doesn't he? It's an instinctive reaction, but good power, and he finds a spot extremely well into the top corner, and that goal has made all the difference.
It shows how important starting a game powerfully and positively is, because on occasions like this, it settles it.
Of course it does, and I spoke about it before the game. The game against Celtic at Tynecastle was very much the same ilk as well, where they had to start quickly, they had to start on the front foot. And they've picked up a draw against Celtic, and they've got a win against Aberdeen, whereas earlier in the season the performances against Aberdeen and Celtic were far too passive. And I think the start to the game was vital, because it really knocked Aberdeen out of their stride. And even when they came into the game in the second half, it was a wee bit more, what could you say, without being a great deal of finesse. Aberdeen just got into the game physically a little bit, and I think that was a lot of it just down to the fact that they weren't allowed to get any real passing play in the first half as well.
Did Aberdeen, Willie, deserve any more than they got?
I don't think so. I think at the end of the game, Hearts were deserved winners. I thought even in the second half, where Aberdeen created a couple of chances, Andrew Considine probably the best. Niall McGinn had one at the back post as well. Fell to him, had a strike. It was a narrow angle. But you're probably talking about 2 or 3 half chances Aberdeen's had in the second. In the first half, nothing at all. Hearts total domination in the first half. I was struggling at half time to see how Hearts could keep that tempo up. It slipped a little bit, allowed Aberdeen back into the game. They didn't play enough football for me. Aberdeen didn't get the chance to play enough football because Hearts were so physical in terms of closing them down. And I thought, the winners tonight, were Hearts. Without any doubt, they deserved that victory.
Robbie Neilson won't be screaming from the rooftops. It's not his style, Michael. But he will privately believe, and Hearts will privately believe, that they can win the Scottish Cup. Maybe also close in on Aberdeen in second place in the Premiership. And you have to keep reminding yourselves that this is a newly promoted team. Yeah,
of course they are a newly promoted side, but they're not a typical, you know, Championship side that have just been promoted to the top flight. They are a Premiership side, and you know, the infrastructure, the squad that's there. So to find them up the top end of the table, I don't think is a big surprise. And you're totally right. I think that there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to, you know, challenge for Aberdeen for the second place in the league, and also there's no reason why they shouldn't go further in the Scottish Cup, as long as they don't get another difficult team in the next round.
Thanks to Michael, thanks to Willie as well. You'll get Scottish Cup highlights tonight on the BBC at 10:25 it is tonight. BBC One Scotland. Some classic Cup football, including Annan's giant-killing exploits. Reaction continuing on Sports Sound 810 medium wave at the moment. Go to the BBC Sports Scotland website as well. At Tynecastle tonight, then, Hearts have won their first Scottish Cup tie since landing the trophy in 2012.
'Cause you make me feel like I'm alive again.